tell you again, thank you so much for all the good food, guys. Turn my mic on. I got you. All right. You know, I eat, and I eat, and I eat today. Everything was good, and I tried to get a little bit of everything, but I kept going back and getting more. And then I got home and was about to take a nap. I couldn't quite go to sleep, but I was getting ready to take a nap, and all of a sudden an epiphany come to me. That food was dangerous. No, I'm serious, it was dangerous. I was thinking if I had made a mistake, as fast as I was eating, if I had got a little bit on my forehead, my tongue would have beat my brain out trying to get it. That's dangerous food there. And I enjoyed watching those kids a while ago. I got a little bit nervous when they brought that bucket in. Set it on the floor. Anybody been down south much, you know, there's churches down there and they call them snake handlers. They bring a bucket or a big box in and they'll set it there. I was sitting there and I was watching, I was trying to see in there. I was going to preach from that corner over there about the case. I went with my grandpa one time and he just happened up on one. He didn't know what it was, and we went in there and boy, they just started twitching and jerking and grabbed snakes and started going around. Boy, me and him, but he beat me to the car. He was about 86 years old. But every word there. But yeah, I enjoyed watching them kids. Well, ain't that cute? That is wonderful the way they do that. I would love to see adults that cheerful to give. Amen? It was a blessing. I will try to go through the message kind of quick. If you got your Bibles tonight, and if you will, turn to Matthew chapter 12. Matthew chapter 12, I'm going to read verses 39 to 41. Matthew 12, 39 to 41. Give me a second or so to get there. And believe it or not, Matthew is not the only book I preach out of. I know about to do it every time I preached here, but it so happened that's the way it fell this time. But Matthew 39 to 41 reaches this, and he, Jesus, answered and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall be no sign given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonah. That's kind of a strange thing, isn't it? For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. I sometimes wonder, you know, I hear sometimes people make comments that perhaps it wasn't a whale. Now, I'm saying here whale. Amen? So it's probably a whale. Now, verse 41, it says, The men of Nineveh shall rise in judgment with this generation and shall condemn it, because they repented at the preaching of Jonah, and behold, a greater than Jonah is here. And guess what, folks? Jesus is telling us something very, very important, believe it or not, about today. Now, it sounds like he's talking in past tense and what happened before and things like this, but basically what happened here was the Pharisees, as they always done, tried to pin Jesus down. They wanted to show their intelligence and how much brighter they were and how they could trap him and put him in a position. But Jesus always, being God and the wisest being in the universe, always knew their hearts and knew what they were after. Now, they tried to pin him down and talk to him and tried to get him to mess up a little bit here. But Jesus said something so profound that I don't even think they got it. You know, sometimes people think they're wise and they're as fools, as Romans says. And I believe this was the situation on them. But what Jesus points out here is that judgment is coming. It's coming on every person. From the past, even in the present, even in the future. If God tarries another 100 years, judgment is coming. Now, the Pharisees, again, asked him this, wanting him to prove to them who he was. In other words, tell us who you are. And the answers that you have, let us kind of get inside of you a little bit. Trying to put him on the defense, but Jesus was a master at turning things around. And you'll notice that many times Jesus would answer a question with a statement of a question. In other words, you're asking me this. Now, let's talk about you. And nobody likes that. You know, I was in law enforcement a lot of years, and people that I would arrest sometimes, they would want to ask me questions. And I always would flip it around and ask them questions. Now, Jesus done it only to those that wanted to trap him. And he would make them ask themselves questions. And this was one of the comments that he done that I thought was so brilliant. He asked them a question without asking a question. And that's strange, how he was so good at this. And a man that young, 33 years old, twisting up these guys and putting them in such a position was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Now, he said this because basically they wanted him to explain himself. He knew they weren't sincere. He knew that he could tell them everything about himself or what's coming or prophecies or anything. And they would just want more. They wanted a sign, basically. And they would just want more. They weren't sincere. They didn't really care. Didn't mean anything to them. But what he did do was brilliantly direct them to the signs of Jonah. Jonah. It's a strange book in the Bible that a lot of people joke about, they cut up about, and some people even try to disprove, but I think recently proved that a person could survive in a week. And they said as long as 4 or 5 days, survive in a whale. But that person would be at the brink of death when they came out based on what would happen in that whale's belly. Now, we see that Jesus directs them to this. What exactly are the signs of Jonah? What is the symbol of Jonah? What is it Jesus was trying to teach them about Jonah? And what is Jesus trying to teach us about Jonah? If you got your Bibles, go back to Jonah chapter 1. Jonah chapter 1, we'll read verse 1. I'll try to go through quickly so we can have a lot of questions if you want them tonight. Now, Jonah 1, verse 1. It says, Now the word of the Lord came unto Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Stop. Who is Amittai? Does anybody know?
Jonah's dad.
Huh?
Jonah's dad.
You're right. What was his occupation? He was a prophet. He was a man of God. And he was a person that served God faithfully. So this tells us then that Jonah came from what? A godly family. Jonah had been raised right. Jonah knew, he understood what he was supposed to do in serving God and how important it was for him to serve God. Now right off the bat, getting a little bit of understanding about Jonah, he would be what we call today a born-again Christian. A born-again Christian. But Jonah had a problem, didn't he? Verse 2 says here, Arise, God speaking to Jonah, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness has come up before me. Verse 3, But Jonah rose up to flee unto where? Tarshish, which is in Spain, from, key word here, from the presence of the Lord. And went down to Joppa, and found a ship going to Tarshish. So he paid the fare thereof, and went down into it, to go with them to Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. Now, first thing I want to say about this is, where can you go that God ain't at? Christians, sometimes we think there's a place in our mind. Yeah. We can go there. We can have private thoughts. Yeah. And God ain't a part of it. He don't know it. But God is everywhere. He's all-knowing. He's omnipresent. He knows every thought that we have. And He knows every understanding that we have. And He knows every reaction that we have in our minds and in our hearts. Now, that's kind of scary, isn't it? I would think if God knew all that about me, I should have been punished and probably struck dead long ago. You say, well, brother, what have you been up to? Let me ask you, what have you been up to? We're all guilty, aren't we? And God is merciful. And God is merciful, and I thank God for that. But we're looking at a Christian that has decided to not serve God any longer. And I guarantee there's people here tonight, and you have drifted. Maybe you're back, but you have drifted sometime in your life from God. I'm going to take it easy a while. And this is my business. I'm going to do this. This is what I want to do. God, I'm going to put you on hold for a while. Now, we're not so bold probably as to say that, but we're thinking it. That we can put God on hold. We see that the Pharisees pretty much was in that position that Jonah was in. They were supposed to be servants of God, but they weren't. If they were, they would have known who Jesus was with them. They would have received Him. They would have accepted Him. They were playing games, just like sometimes a born-again Christian will do. Jonah was playing games. He wanted to flee from the presence of God, which is utterly impossible. Jonah made a choice to not go to Nineveh and went down to Joppa. Down to Joppa. And then down into the ship. Jonah's choice and sin took him down and down and down. And sin will always take you down. It will never sustain you, bring you up, or allow you to be as you are. Anytime you decide to go into sin, it's going to bring you down, born again. Every time. And if there is ever a time that you want to try and sail away from God, the devil will always provide the ship for you to go down into. I want us to think about this, because we need in these days to be committed to God.
Right.
Oh, we need to be committed. I believe if we could just peek into the future, it would surprise us. The signs of the times are there, ladies and gentlemen. They're there. I can't read, and I studied prophecy and did for a long time. In fact, my thesis to get my doctorate degree was on prophecy. And I preach a lot on prophecy. But I can't find one thing in the Bible that needs to happen before the rapture of the church. Everything has happened that needs to happen before the rapture of the church. And we are getting lazy in this day and time. The churches need to rally and make a final call. Amen?
Right.
A final call. We need to go out in a blaze of glory and not in shame. We need to get excited about God again.
Right.
Amen?
Amen.
It's good to come to church. It's good to worship. But never say us few will do. The state of Utah has hundreds of thousands of lost people. I've been around the world and I've seen hundreds of thousands of lost people. And folks, it is our duty to please God and reach them.
That's right.
Reach them. Now, if they accept and they receive Christ, wonderful. But if they don't, you still have done your duty. You've done what God wanted you to do. Jonah made this choice to go down, as sin will take you down. Now, the rest of the story. Tarshish, the reason he wanted to go, it was a place kind of like a resort of that day. A lot of things went on in Tarshish. Kind of like the nightlife, all these different things. And Jonah probably thought, I have been serving so long, and I've got no recognition for it. Nobody really cares. And now if God's wanting me to go to Nineveh and talk to them, those people deserve hell. They're evil. They're wicked. The Jews hated people up there. Mesopotamia area, because all through the Jewish history, it was that area that gave them the most trouble. Taking them into captive and making them slaves. All these different things. He hated them. God, if they're going to die and go to hell, let them go. Christians, I hope we never get to that place. Those Mormons, those Jehovah's Witnesses, those Islam, they deserve hell. Look what they're doing. No more than we do. I'm not going. I'm going to pay my fare. And this is my business. And I'm going to go down to Tarshish and I'm just going to have a good time. I'm going to party. I'm going to relax. And then maybe, God, I'll serve you a little bit when I come back. Folks, it don't work like that. It never has. It never will. He felt like this was his business. And he thought he was escaping God. But remember, God is everywhere. And God will call you back if you belong to Him. If you are God's, He will call you back. Jonah went down and he found a place to fall asleep in the ship. Now I want you to picture this. Here's a boat out on the water. And all of a sudden God sends a wind. Anybody knows anything about sailing and out on the ocean, wind can be your biggest enemy sometimes. because it can create some bad situations, some big waves. Now the captain of the ship, he was experienced, had made this trip many times. They would take cargo, and they would go from Joppa to Tarshish, and Tarshish to Joppa, taking passengers and cargo. And he knew how to read the weather. He knew and had understood many trips that he had done how to do this. But all of a sudden, when they got way, way, way out from the shore, this wind comes up. Kind of a haunting blowing. And the captain realized, where did this come from? I was not prepared for this. And it gets worse, and it gets worse. And all of a sudden, the swirls start turning. The bow of the boat goes up and slams down into the water. Water comes on the ship, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And the captain comes to a place in time where he realizes, I have no control of this ship. There's nothing I can do. All these people are on here, all this cargo, everything, and there's nothing I can do. He starts to panic. He tells the people, pray to your gods. Pray that your gods will deliver us from this. Now all this is going on. I imagine the other passengers, perhaps women with children, and men, and sailors, screaming and begging and pleading. Please don't let us die. Please don't let us die. The boat's going up and down, left and right, rocking back and forth, swirling around in circles. No bearing can be made. And all of a sudden, as they're telling everybody to pray to your God, some sailor walks down there. There's Jonah in a little fetal position. I'll get a little bit of slobber on the side of his jaw. Good sleep. Good sleep. How could he sleep during this storm? What made him sleep in such a horrible situation? You know, I don't sleep well, but when I get into a good deep sleep, it's hard to wake. But I believe if I heard people screaming and hollering and I was rolling all over the floor in the boat, okay, probably hitting my head on the side, okay, I would probably wake up. But he was laying there sound asleep. He runs up there and he tells the captain, look, you know, I tried to get everybody to pray, but there's somebody down there asleep. Well, we ain't got no liquor on this boat. Was he drunk or something? How in the world? What's going on with him? Go tell him again. Get up! Man, I'm trying. I pulled on his arm and everything else. Can't get him up. So the captain himself goes down. What's it saying here? What meanest thou, old sleeper? In the South we'd say, boy, what's wrong with you? And that's basically what he's saying to him. What are you doing? Get up and pray to your God. And I guess that captain, he meant it. You're going to get up. We ain't going to die with you sleeping. Then they cast lots. And the lots fell on Jonah, didn't they? Fell on Jonah. And he realized, yeah, this is my fault. He even confessed it to him. It's my fault. They said, well, what do we do with you? And who are you? Who are you, Jonah? He said, I'm a Hebrew. They said, why are you doing this to us? Here's what they were seeing. They were seeing these pagan gods that they worshipped. No interaction. They can pray all day long. No interaction. Nothing. But suddenly here's a man with a God that is personal with him, who is chasing him across the Mediterranean, who is telling him, look, I want you to go back where I told you to go. Man, what interaction this God is having with this man. That's what they're seeing. And it's almost terrifying to them because they've never seen such a thing. This little stone idol that I've been worshiping has never spoke to me. Never said nothing to me. And I prayed and prayed and prayed and gave sacrifices and done all these things, and he's never interacted with me like this. Jonah, you've got us in trouble. And folks, there's 1,000 people out there in trouble. It's up to us. What are we doing to them? Why have we put them in that place when we know the truth? When we understand the plan of salvation, and we understand the whole world, including us, is guilty. As guilty as they are, we were. It's still ours. And we're not saying anything to anybody. Hoping the church grows. Hope somebody will wander in that door. Come on in. Sit down. If we approve of you, we'll like you. That's not the way of God.
Right.
I don't ever remember reading in the Bible where Jesus sat in the church and never went out and done anything. Amen?
Right.
Jonah, why are you doing this to us? And who are you? I'm a Hebrew. What do we do with you? You have to throw me overboard. Oh, I know God. And He ain't going to quit. He's not going to stop until you throw me over. I've messed up, and I've messed up big time. Jonah, we're not going to do that. They rowed harder, didn't they? Trying to get the boat to shore. We're going to get you docked, Jonah. We're going to get you to a place, and we're going to let you walk off this boat, bon voyage, have a good life, and we're going to get back on course. But you ain't staying on this boat. But we ain't about to take God's man and throw him in the ocean. They rowed harder. The storm got worse, as though it could possibly get worse. It did get worse. At this point, we don't care. Jonah, 1, 2. Big whale. Whoop. Got it. The one God sent. Great fish. Now Jonah spent 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of that whale. And we see here that Jesus said, it's like hell. This sign is hell. As the Son of Man will have to go to the center of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights, so will Jonah, as Jonah was in the belly of the whale. Let's think about this. Belly of a whale. First, it's dark. Total black. Don't see nothing. Then you got stomach acid. Burning you like fire. Hard. Every part of your body just feels like it's burning, burning, burning. You hear these old horrible, weird noises. Oh, yeah. And all of a sudden water comes in and you're suffocating, you can't breathe. The smells are horrible. When Jesus was talking about Lazarus being a rich man, he said hell had torments, plural. Just like that belly of that whale. Jesus was going to have to go to the center of the earth and suffer. Suffer for us. Pay our price. And Jonah went down there. And when he had about all he could take, here comes Jonah. He sits there a minute. I imagine he's bleached white. Seaweed hanging off of him. Disorientated a little bit. There's where I got that road to Nineveh. Strange how that happened. Jonah takes off. He's gone. He's running to Nineveh. He makes the trip in 1 day when it should have took 3. I imagine some people that knew Jonah was coming down the path. Jonah's booking, buddy. Jonah, wait, I ain't got time to talk to you. He was on a mission with him. Well, we can't do that for God. He was on a mission. He was going to accomplish what he was set out to do. He experienced hell a little bit. He knew what it was. Jonah got a second chance to do what God wanted him to do. He went to Nineveh. He preached. Nineveh received God from the king down. The whole place got saved. Nineveh got a second chance. God is a God of second chances. Jesus had to die to give us a second chance. Praise His name. His holy, precious name. Praise Him. He went to that cross and He took that beat and suffering so that we can live. Sometimes we make mistakes, man. We mess up, even as Christians. But God knows when we're sorry. Okay, let's start again. Aren't you glad God's a God of second chances?
Amen.
We can get it right, and we can go back and serve God. I've seen so many Christians go through so many things in their lives. Believe it when the Bible says, Satan's like a lion seeking whom he may devour. And God understands that. But He still loves us and has compassion and forgiveness and a willingness to not bury the wounded. Don't say the dead. Bury the wounded. He'll deal with you. And at that moment, you say, God, I've messed up. Well, let's make it right this time. Tonight, are you in need of a second chance? Something. It could be 1,000 different things. Maybe it's salvation. I've lived my life. I've done the wrong thing for so long. I don't think God will forgive me. Oh, you're wrong. You're wrong. You will. Tonight, without any music, here's what I'd like to do in closing. If you need salvation, I ask you, I beg you to come up here and let someone talk to you. But if it's not salvation that you need, you just need a second chance on something else. Let's sit here silently, just for a minute, and pray and ask God for that second chance and commit what has held us back to Him tonight. So, Lord, you know I've been holding this back. Lord, I'm through. I'm tired of this. I want to make a recommitment to you. Now's the time. Now's the chance. If you'd like to be saved tonight, we would love to take you in a path and show you the way to do that. Just come up here. Just simply get up and walk up.